Hello photography fans, and welcome back to another LensVid review. Today we're taking a look at an LED panel from Godox's new Proffesional series. Let's see what it can do. Godox has been expanding their options of quality cinema lights. We've already reviewed a few of their COB LEDs, and for a few months now we've been working with Godox's new LED panels. Today we're taking a look at the LD150RS, the most powerful of the three light panels that make up the Godox LD series. The other units included in this series are the smaller and less powerful LD75 and the large rectangular 150R. These panels boast powerful output, precise color, and portability. Godox ships the light panel in a semi-hard carrying case with a set of barn doors, a safety cord, power brick, and cable. On the top of the panel's fixture there's an integrated metal eyelet to connect the safety cord with the included carabiner. The LD150RS comes in a plastic and metal fixture with plastic handles on the sides and a sturdy metal bracket. Including the bracket, the fixture measures 54 cm by 51 cm and weighs 5.1 kilos. The tension is controlled only by one knob on the left side. On the back of the panel there's a small color screen for menu settings, 4 clickable control knobs, 4 customizable color-coded preset buttons, mode and menu navigation buttons, and a handy settings lock button. The ports on the bottom of the panel include Ethernet and XLR DMX ports and a 3-pin power connector. There is also a USB-A port to install firmware upgrades. The on and off switch is also on the bottom of the panel. The LD150RS uses 2 fans for cooling. These are very quiet as is, but there's also a silent mode in the panel's menu that shuts the fans off while limiting the light output to 50%. These fans do a good job at dissipating the heat, and the fixture doesn't warm up very much even after prolonged use. To power the LD150RS, Godox provides a power brick. This accessory is pretty big and you wouldn't want it to just hang from the panel, but somehow Godox didn't foresee the need to attach it. In our configuration, the bracket is a good place to store it, so we just fixed it in place with some zip ties. Not the most elegant solution, but it works for now. This panel comes with a V-mount plate on the back, so technically it's a portable panel. The only caveat is that it only functions with a 26-volt V-mount battery. All of our V-mount batteries are 14 volts, so we weren't able to test this feature. In CCT mode, the color temperature ranges from 2500 Kelvin to 8500 Kelvin. Godox also included green magenta levels to match different lights. There's also an RGB mode, an HSI mode, 2 gels modes, and an effects mode with 14 customizable RGB effects. Since the LED panel is an array of individual LEDs, it's not actually a uniform light source. So this panel produces peculiar shadows, especially when you restrict the light with barn doors. Godox sells a softbox to diffuse this effect and to spread the light beam, but the softbox makes the whole setup a lot bigger. We decided to make our own modifier out of translucent plexiglass. The front of the panel features an integrated modifier holder with spring tabs that keep the modifier in place. Our diffuser just pops into place and softens the beam considerably. We will test how this modifier affects the light output later in the review. The settings menu is accessed by pressing the menu button on the left of the screen. There's a back navigation button on the right of the screen to exit the menu. Within the menu there are options to control Bluetooth and wireless access, change DMX settings, channel and group settings, and turn on the silent mode. The preset buttons can quickly remember the configuration, letting you navigate easily between modes or color settings. To assign the settings to a specific button, long press it until a confirmation message appears on the screen. You can also overwrite previously assigned settings. In this case, a warning message appears. Another useful feature on the LD150RS is a dedicated quick lock button. Pressing this button deactivates the controls in order to prevent the settings from being unintentionally changed when repositioning the light. When the lock is activated, a small icon appears on the screen. In lock mode, only the onboard controls are deactivated, so you can still change settings with the remote. The 4 knobs control the light settings. The knob on the right navigates through the modes after clicking the mode button to the right of the screen. A single click on the knob enters the mode. In RGB mode, clicking this knob switches to RGBW. The second knob is the dimmer. Clicking the dimmer in any mode turns the intensity down to 0 while keeping the rest of the settings active. The next knob is the color temperature control. In CCT mode, you can quickly move in increments of 1000 degrees by repeatedly clicking this knob. The knob on the left is for green and magenta control. In CCT mode, there's a click function for this knob that maximizes the magenta setting, but for some reason there's no secondary click to return this setting to 0. We're not sure if this is a firmware bug or just something that Godox didn't think to include. The LD150RS has both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections, which means you can control it through the app and with a remote. We've talked about the Godox app in other reviews. It works without glitches and gives you full control over this light panel and other Godox lights. The Godox RC-R9 remote that controls this panel is sold separately. It features preset buttons to quickly change to a specific color or color temperature. There are of course mode buttons and settings dials. One thing to be aware of when changing the intensity setting with the dimmer buttons, the remote will only register the operation when you let go of the button. The LD150RS has been our main light in the studio for a few months now. It's a very powerful light that does not get very hot and has a very easy to use form factor. The integrated modifier holder works great. Even though in our setup we usually don't use the barn doors, whenever we do need them the installation is very quick. Godox also provides a honeycomb grid that goes inside the barn doors frame, but we didn't get this accessory so we can't really comment on it. We tested the output of the LD150RS at 1 meter away in 5600 Kelvin and 3200 Kelvin and also in RGB mode, and here are the results that we got. We also tested the intensity and color shift with and without our diffuser. The tests show that the diffuser lowers the intensity by almost 40% and reduces the color temperature by about 700 degrees. There's also a slight green shift with the diffuser in place. Obviously, since this is not a professionally made accessory, the color is not consistent. We'll just have to keep this in mind and adjust our white balance accordingly. Other than that, the diffuser gives a nice softness to the light. In conclusion, Godox didn't disappoint. Their latest light fixtures have all been very well made, and the LD150RS is in line with all of the Godox lights that we've worked with. It's well constructed, powerful, and quite portable. The output coming out of this panel is amazing. We used 2 of these lights to shoot a slow motion commercial, and they provided plenty of light. As for pricing, the Godox LD150RS sells for just under $1,000. The remote costs $35, and the softbox goes for $70. And that is it for our look at the Godox LD150RS LED panel. Go check out the full review on our website at lensvid.com. Subscribe to this channel and come back for more videos. We'll see you in the next one.
Bloopers.
Look at a new light. How about you look in the camera? I've been in quarantine too long.